was that my uncle was so proud and so happy to be an American. He came from overseas, and that was his dream. And he became an American. And unfortunately, it cost him his life because he was fighting in Europe and he was fighting the Germans and they were using gas. So he was gassed and he died. Um, he After he went back to fighting, a doctor, the story goes that a doctor came to him and said, "How are you?" And he said, "Better." "All right, you can go back." So that after that, that's when he was gassed.
Yeah,
He was only
very
27.
very sad story.
Yeah.
Just to cut off real quick. Ian, I apologize. I didn't hit the record button right away when you started talking, so it might just pick up from you, Joan.
No problem.
Henry, you want to go with your story next?
No, I just wanted to talk about Louis. He always treated me like one of his little brothers when we were growing up in the South Bronx. And my mother used to worry all the time about him because she wanted him to be alive. And at one point, remember, Louis, when you came to live with us and you were in my bedroom?
Yeah.
And my mother sits me down in the kitchen. She said, "Henry, I really want Louis to live with us." So I tell her, "Okay, where is he gonna sleep?" And my mother put a second bed in the bedroom. But Louis was the one that got me my first color TV from Macy's
Wow.
back in like 1970, I guess.
Yeah.
And I remember waiting all day for the delivery. But I always remember when we went to Yankee Stadium one day for Bat Day. It was a Mickey Mantle bat that they gave out, and they didn't want to give it to me. And I could still hear Louis saying, "Hey man, he's a big kid. Give him the bat." and I used that Mickey Mantle bat. It was remember the little ones? They weren't full size, but I used it like for 5-6 years. And it's because Louis argued with the I guess who was it? The ticket take guy?
Yeah, the guy that's supposed to give it to you.
Yeah. And there were boxes next to him, and he didn't want to give it to me. And then I remember Louis taking me to the bleachers. Remember how hot those seats were?
Yeah.
You could have dungarees and your legs still burn. And it's a miracle that he survived Vietnam. And Louis, Matt's father is a vet, right, from Vietnam, also, right, Matt?
That's correct, sir.
Yeah. If
An
you could take
an
over now and
E3
share,
Lance Corporal.
if you could share about your dad, that'd be great.
I bring that up with my story next. Actually,
Okay.
it's a great point. So I'll go from there. Okay. I don't have a bunch of military stories, or whether I served or anything like this. Most of my stories come from experiences, one, of course, I'll start with my dad. He was a United States Marine Corps officer, like in E3, as they call it, which is a Lance Corporal. Give me a minute, I'll pull it up for you. And that's why I took off the virtual background. You're not allowed to show. It won't allow you to show photos. So, so can you guys see it?
Yeah. Sure.
Whoops, hang on. That's my dad. He was an E3. Very only. He was. He was let go earlier. He had malaria twice, so he's in the hospital multiple times. He was wounded from shrapnel from a grenade. He was awarded the Purple Heart. And of course he comes from immigrants from Germany, which I believe, escaped Germany way before the war and Hitler and whatnot in that era. So they were both immigrants. They came across my dad's brother, which is his oldest brother, my uncle, which passed away not long ago from heart failure. He paid Ellis Island to have their names on the walls for immigrants. So that was that. That's pretty much my first half. My second half comes from just all the experience I had with when I was working with the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City. Louis we came from New York. We moved down here in early July. But we're originally from, well, my whole family pretty much originally New York. But my experiences at the 9/11 Memorial with military wise was mostly just interacting with veterans, whether they came to like when they came on special days, like for Veterans Day, they have ceremonies on the plaza and whatnot, and enlistments and this and that. My first interaction with a veteran was actually my most inspiring one, because where we had the old opening, I asked a veteran and his wife. I believe his wife is in a wheelchair. I don't remember exactly, but I would kindly ask. We had like a access lane for wheelchairs and whatnot, but I kindly escorted them down the access lane, and it was the first time I ever shook an active duty soldier's hand, and it just filled me up with inspiration that day, and just stuck with me through the rest of the day. Like I said, other times, I had other inspiring times with all militaries and whatnot. But that's pretty much it. Joan, did you have another story? Or Ian?
Let me
Henry?
just share a quick photo. This is a photo of my father, which for
Go ahead.
some reason, it was from 1945, and I just found it last year. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh, yes, yeah.
There you go. Now you go. Yeah,
No,
you had to bring
Louis,
it
remember my
closer.
dad?
Yeah, I remember him.
Show it again.
Go ahead, Ian. I mean, Henry,
Oh,
show it
my-
again.
Wow.
Same smile, Henry, as you.
And that was him in 40. And when
There
he
you go.
joined,
There you go.
when he joined the army, and he came with his brother from Colombia, Barranquilla. It's a town, and they wanted to be Americans, and they wanted to help the country. So the first thing they did when they got to America was join the army.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's. I'll show a couple quick things.
Go ahead.
This is my father's. Yes, I have two books. This is one of his two division books, Fighting 69th Infantry Division. I have it bookmarked. This photo was. He's in this photo. You can see it clear on the internet when you expand the photo. This is April 25th, 1945, when the Americans and Russians linked up on Torgau on the Elbe. And I'm having trouble again. Okay, here it is. Torgau on the Elbe. This is his division book. This is the 272nd Regiment, part of the Fighting 69th Infantry Division. And this part is also, if you go on Google, you just Google Harry Levitt, 69th Division, and there's stuff about him. And just one more thing. Our uncle, Joanna mine, our uncle was a POW. And it was very, very sad story, very tragic story. And in August 2010, as you can see here, he was about almost 90 years old. He wrote his memoirs, and it is on file with the National, what do you call it, Joe? The National Archives in
Yes.
Washington.
Mhm.
Yeah, the National Archives. You're right.
Yeah, he was a POW, and he was shot down shot down over France, and the underground
Yeah.
took him. They hit him and they sent him to Belgium before he was captured, and he spent time in the POW camp.
Oh, man.
If you look at the National Archives, that's where they have, that's mostly the museum part of Washington, D.C., where they have the actual Declaration of Independence and all the documentation and so forth.
Sure.
I've got to show them something.
Go ahead, John.
My mom used, she was born in Philadelphia. She used to tell us the story. She'd play in the playground right where the Liberty Bell was. Right in the, she grew up in the shadows playing under the Liberty Bell.
That's awesome. Did she put a crack in it?
You got it. She took me, she cracked my head in it.
That's a good one.
Good one, Matt.
All right, let's just see what Joan wanted to share,
Oh,
and then
wow.
we'll go along.
Okay, so this is my aunt. She was a young girl, and my uncle, they weren't married yet, but he brought the picture of her along with him. And while he was in the prisoner of war camp, there was another young man, and he was an artist. So he drew this picture of my aunt on some flimsy paper, and he folded it, and my uncle carried it all the rest of the time in his pocket.
Oh,
His
That's
pocket.
awesome.
And this is the original picture. And Aunt Marcia, Ian, she gave it to me, but I said, why are you giving it to me? She said, because she wants me to have it, because Uncle Stanley would have wanted me to have it. My uncle, the one who was the POW, but Ian, now she wants it back.
Oh my God.
I
And,
said, well, of course. But, and she doesn't want me to send it UPS because
No,
she's afraid it'll get lost. Or
definitely don't send it UPS, because they have been horrible with past things. I've ordered some stuff and it was shipped through UPS, and one day it'll say like, oh, your item is being delayed temporarily. Then it's like it takes like another day or two before you actually get it. So
oh, good.
I would choose either FedEx or just shipping it through the normal mail service, UPS. I mean USPS.
Oh, okay.
Just giving you just a suggestion. That's all. I'm just saying. Try to avoid UPS for shipping delays and whatnot.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have one more amazing story.
Go ahead.
I was doing some reading lately about Kyle Higashioka of the Yankees, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with the 442nd Infantry Division. It was the Japanese American division in World War II. They were credited with liberating more death camps than any division. Here's the amazing part. Higgy's grandfather was in the 442nd.
I think I read that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But-
Isn't that something?
They were called a Nisi, right? Something like that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah. Okay. Good one. Yeah. But 442, because they were in the their own POW camps in this country, out west, and they banded together and they did an amazing job. Senator Inouye from Hawaii, the late Senator Inouye, was a member of that division too.
Wow.
That's cool.
Hey, Louis, you got a story you can share?
Oh, not yet.
I got one more.
Sure.
Okay. Are you ready?
Go ahead, Joan.
So, after the war, my uncle was safely back home and my father, and they compared notes,
I know.
and they found out that my father's division was like a day or two behind my uncle. They were making them move. My uncle, the prisoner,
Oh,
and
wow.
they found that they were so close. That really would have been an amazing reunion.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I'll just add something. I mean, if you remember, John McCain from Vietnam, for example, when he was being released, he told all the soldiers, no, until you release all my other comrades. He did not go by himself.
Wow, I know. Matt, you sent a beautiful photo a few days ago. Can you discuss it with O'Neill, the fellow who captured bin Laden?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I love
Uh,
that photo.
just give me 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen again, so hang on.
Okay.
Oh wait, hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna do share content photos. Hang on 1 second. And
All
go
right.
back. That's all my photos. So sorry, you have to see all that. Gee. Here it is.
We don't see it yet.
Hang on, it's coming in. There you
Oh,
go.
great.
Here it is. Yeah, I love that photo. Yeah.
That is Robert J. O'Neill, the man that was first off, he was in over 400 combat missions with the SEAL Team 6. He's originally from Brute, Montana. Growing up with his dad, he loved to hunt. So after high school, he now this is all coming from his book that he wrote called The Operator. He goes through it. It's a very well written book and it's long, but it's very detailed. So after high school, most people they want to go to college, this and that. He decided he wants something more, so he decided that he was going to join the military. So fast forward a little bit, he goes to the Marine Corps office one day to try to recruit or enlist, and unfortunately, the recruiter was not in office. But also, fortunately, right next door to the Marine Corps office in Montana was the Navy recruiting office. So he walks in there, and unfortunately, the recruiter's in there. So he goes through, and then he's talking with the recruiter, and he's like, and so the recruiter's like, "What brings you in here, son?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I was trying to join, the Marines to become a sniper." And so the recruiter's like, "Well, we got snipers in the Navy too," and that opened up another door for him. And so so right there, he enlisted in the Navy, and going through all the different trainings and this and that, he became an elite that he was awarded to SEAL Team 6, and he went from for over the 400 missions, two of them that I could name off of my head that I know he was in was obviously the Bin Laden raid in 2011, and second of all, which is another biggie, the rescue of Captain Richard Phillips in Somalia.
The boat. That's the one from the boat, right?
What, the one that I took the photo?
No, Phillips. Wasn't that they made that movie with Tom Hanks?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's
So
correct.
he aided in the rescue, right?
He aided in the rescue. Yes, he was not the actual SEAL that actually rescued him and brought him on board, but he was like with the snipers that were on this, on the destroyer that actually helped and whatnot. that he assisted in.
Could you tell us, us that don't know, what's Navy SEAL 6?
It's a special force. It's almost like the Army Special Forces. SEAL Team 6. They actually call them the Green Berets.
Oh, the green. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much. They're very. I mean, obviously, no, it's not the Green Berets. I mean, because the Green Berets are from the Army. SEAL Team 6 is like their special code names for the Navy. And there's multiple of them. There's SEAL Team 6, SEAL Team 5, SEAL Team 3. They all have the different numbers. The Army had the Green Berets. They're the one. The Green Berets are actually, if you know the movie 12 Soldiers.
No, I never heard of that.
No, it's with Chris Hainsworth.
Oh, wow.
I'll send you the link when we're done with that. But very well written. It's actually very well made. It's about the whole war in Afghanistan, of where the special forces go in to defeat the Taliban and give back the cities for the liberals, for the Muslims in Afghanistan. And it doesn't show the movie doesn't show about the Bin Laden raid, but it shows about them fighting the Taliban and driving them back and allowing the Afghan people to re-liberate their country.
Are those teams big, or is it 6 literally?
No, SEAL Team 6.
Would you know?
I think it's only a team of like they're a very small team. It's not a very big team. The special forces like that, they're really not that big. Like the 12 Soldiers, however, like the Green Berets, it's actually a hint right from the movie film title as well. The 12 Soldiers, Green Berets that went in to defeat that. The answer's right there in the title. There's only 12 of them.
I know there was a movie called 12 Strong. Is that the movie?
I think it's 12 Strong. That's right.
Oh.
Not 12 Soldiers. I'm back. But yeah, you're right. 12 Strong. I'll send you guys the link to it. It's available on any platform really. But very well written film.
Joan, did you ever get to see your family with uniform when they came back home? Do you remember that?
I don't. I wasn't
No.
born yet.
But my father's uniform is in the garage in Jersey. I was told that recently. So next time I go to a house, I'm going to look for it. But it is in the garage.
And
I think
Ian,
Marsha must have the Uncle Stanley's.
Yeah, that's right.
you had like uncles and everything in the war, right?
Yeah, we had
Yeah, lots.
we had besides my father and my Uncle Stanley, who we mentioned, my mom's kid brother, Uncle Mickey, he turned 18 in May 1943. He knew he was going to be drafted, so he figured in June, 1 month later, he'd go in. But the day of his 18th birthday, they came into his classroom and said, here's your paper, go over to the draft board. And on his 18th birthday, he was sworn in. And when he went to the recruiting station, the officer said, son, what do you like to do? My uncle said, I like medicine. They put him in the medical corps. And that's where he was in 1944. He was in Mindanao, one of the islands of the Philippines. And a sniper got him. He got him in the groin. And he was in bad shape. And the kid he was trying to help didn't make it. It was a Mexican kid from California. And my uncle came back. He was just skin and bone. He had malaria. And he was so bad, he was sitting on the curbside in Philadelphia. A military truck picked him up, took him to the hospital. Then our Uncle Mac, he didn't mention it much, but he was in D-Day. He was hit also. But Uncle Mac didn't talk about it. I know he was in D-Day and he was wounded, but he didn't say much about it.
And so is Yogi.
Yogi, yeah, Yogi.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
That's right. Good one.
You were good friends with Yogi, right?
Oh, my sister can write a book about Yogi.
What did he call you? Ian told me. What did he call you?
Well, What?
I think he told me he called him the kid.
He had a name for you, Joe. Remember what he always called you?
Oh, yeah. Hi, kid.
Oh, dear. Didn't he call you dear?
Would say that to Eric.
Oh, Eric, yeah. And he called you dear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He was a really nice man. He was a mensch. He was normal. He didn't have any airs about him.
No, very modest, an American icon.
Yes.
And Ian, there were a lot of veterans on the Yankees, right? Historically.
Yeah, well, Dr. Bobby Brown is still alive. He was a doctor, of course, in Europe. Scooter was in the Navy. Joe D was in the Navy. Now, the best one was Jerry Coleman, a Marine pilot in Korea and World War II. And you can't believe how nice he was to me. I was taking walks in 1968 between innings. Someone came up from behind me and said, "Hey, that's some game out there today." And it was Jerry Coleman. I was 17. I said to myself, this guy's a hero, and he's being nice to me. I just couldn't believe it.
I remember when I was with you down in Legends that they honored at during the game, like one of the first sergeants from the Green Beret from Vietnam. And the guy was like in his 80s, but he was like 6'6".
Oh, wow.
The guy was like in really great shape. So I remember like being blown away. And his locomotion, I guess that's what he said. His motor skills were like fantastic. He looked like he was like a 22-year-old guy, but the guy was gigantic.
Well, that was an amazing thing. When we would have the honor of the veterans at the stadium, they would come back and they would extend their hands to us, but
Yeah.
we should be thanking them. They would say thank you, but no, we should be thanking them. I never understood. It was amazing how those guys were, and ladies. We have female veterans too.
I remember I had one friend, his name was Red, and the Yankees honored him in one of those games, and his son told me he was part of D-Day, part of the invasion, and he was in the first group of guys that went to Hitler's lair.
Oh, breakfast time.
Yeah, and I remember the son telling me that one day he was a pilot also, but he was part of the 101st, which you see behind me, the flag.
Right.
And then he told Richard, they were flying from the Finger Lakes to Manhattan and back, and then when they went down, then when they returned, Red told his son, do you want to go under the bridge or over the bridge?
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he was honored by the team during one game.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Because a few years ago, I texted Sam. Joanne came up with the idea to have my Uncle Stanley there, but I guess they were selected in advance. She never got back to me. Besides, he was a Phillies fan. I don't think he would have wanted. Stanley would have wanted to be with the Yankees.
Let's just add one thing.
Sure, man.
We'll just make a little side effect from military to baseball. How about like honoring the first female GM?
Yes, Miss Eng, and I remember her with the Yankees.
She worked at the Yankees?
Yeah, she was an assistant to Cash, and she was there for three championships. She was there for 98 through 01, so she has 3 Yankee rings. In fact, she put one of them on Instagram. She held her finger and you could see it.
Wow.
Isn't it nice? They're Jeter, Mattingly, Miss Enger all together now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Matt, you have something special to show us, right?
I do. Real quick, before that, I'm just gonna add, Lewis, do you have anything you want to add? You come up with anything?
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah, did you want to add anything, any stories?
Oh, maybe the next time.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
no problem. We'll definitely keep you
I'm
informed for the next time. All right, so we're gonna move forward, and this is something special that only Henry knows about. Hang on one second. Let's see if I can find it.
Hey, I want you guys to know it's a treat to see all you guys.
Hey, you too. Thanks, man. Well, good to see everybody.
Yeah, this is great.
And it's also wonderful that we have two people who wanted to come on, Louis and Joanne. They added themselves on. That's very nice.
Yeah, we're cool, right?
Yeah.
Joanne, you were a teacher,
Share
right?
contract share screen.
I taught a long time ago in Brooklyn. And then after my son was born, can I keep on? So
Yeah, go ahead, Joanne.
what in a nursery school, and I was there for 27 years.
Wow.
And my son, and before my son was born, I taught in Brooklyn for 11 years. So altogether, 38 years isn't so bad.
So you were able to touch the future.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you're right. I just loved it all. I loved them all. And one of my students from Brooklyn found me on Facebook, and we've been communicating ever since. So she is a kindergarten teacher,
Oh, wow.
like I was, and she said that I inspired her to become a kindergarten teacher.
Wow,
Isn't that great?
that's wonderful.
So you're still touching the future in the future.
Yes. And we met at a Mets game. Her son has a skin condition
Oh, wow.
called ichthyosis. It's peeling skin. And the Mets were honoring the group. So she sent me tickets. And Ian, remember, I wanted you to meet me there or come with me,
Yes.
but you couldn't. So Ray went.
Oh, nice.
Was my husband's caregiver.
Wow.
So that was really great seeing her, and she introduced me to her kids and some of her present day students. So that was really great.
So the circle came all around.
Yeah, you're right. So I really did see into the future. And what a future it is. It was.
And it's very interesting, to put it mildly.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
it is. It is.
All right, you guys ready for the surprise?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. I know
Mhm.
you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, USS North Carolina.
I
All
like
right,
that cap.
here it goes from here. Enjoy this. It's about 26 minutes or so. So just sit back and enjoy it.
Now, this is from your PBF special, right?
Just watch this special. Yep.
I want to welcome you aboard USS North Carolina.
You may not be able to hear my
It's
voice.
actually the
Can you?
third battleship to be named the
A little bit.
USS North Carolina.
All right.
Welcome aboard. We'll take you through it.
Here we are aboard the USS North Carolina.
Take you over the 16-inch guns, a long range. I mean.
Oh, wow.
I'll walk you through if you don't hear if you can't hear my voice well.
The end of these barrels are.
These are the 16-inch guns, 45 caliber ammunition.
The diameter that makes up the shell.
Those are big guns, man.
Shell
Yep.
diameter of the center of the barrel.
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
The bell.
And this is where you work, right, Maddie?
I'm not working. I'm
To
just
the back of the
volunteering.
boat now.
I'm not working
Burns,
yet at
of
all.
course.
Which means a whole lot more.
Exactly.
Kingfisher, it was
This
used
is a
to
Kingfisher. This is a small plane. They
mostly shoot
sucked
down
people.
enemy
The
aircraft,
pilots
but
hated to fly
also
them.
to-
Why? Because they sucked that they
it's mostly
couldn't
for
avoid
rescues
any
for
any
sailors
enemy
going
aircraft
down
at all.
sailors,
They were
and,
mostly famous
of
for
course,
rescues and down planes and sailors, and of course being a spy planes.
spy planes as well.
Ian,
Huh?
have you ever told your friends about the 3 ships that we saw christened?
We saw the Constellation, I remember that.
Oh, we saw all 3, but you were a little boy.
Oh.
20 millimeters.
We
I remember
went
the,
to Saratoga
right.
christening, and we went to the Independence
What else?
christening,
Yeah.
and also the Constellation.
I remember the Constellation very, very well.
Yeah, that was really amazing because of that terrible fire.
Yeah,
When
a lot
they
of
were fixing it.
his men were killed.
Those small little guns you saw, those were the 20 millimeters.
Now, from where she's sitting in a
So this is what she sits in right now. It's kind of like a drain dock,
Wow.
surrounded that they're doing repairs on it, and you'll see that later. Here are the 40 millimeters right here.
And you're also taking classes to know more about the ship, right?
Exactly. Every Saturday morning, and then on Tuesdays is the college course. Now I'm climbing in here. This is inside one of the gunneries. I didn't go far in, but so it might not be. But the small space, people did not fit in there very well, and it's very hot too. So a lot of sailors, they suffocated inside there too.
Hoppy, was this World War I and II this ship used, or just like World War II?
Just two. She was commissioned in April, right before. She was commissioned in 41, right before Pearl Harbor.
Oh,
She
wow.
spent most of her terms in the Battle of the Atlantic. Until after Pearl Harbor, actually. After Pearl Harbor, she went through the Panama Canal, which a cool fact is she. Let me just pause it 1 second. So a true fact is all battleships at the time were only built 108 feet wide. Why is that? So they can fit through the Panama Canal, which is 110 feet wide. So very little space to even get through the Panama Canal by 2 feet.
Wow. Do you have an idea how many sailors it would hold normally?
Well over about 2,400.
I know the average in World War I was 1,600.
No, the battleship North Carolina was about 2,300, maybe a little more. Here we continue. This is just the list of all the sailors and whatnot. That you're looking, you can see that
the ammo locker.
those things weren't easy to hold either. They were pretty heavy. Couldn't get down to the engine room, so I just continued from there. Mostly, if you see what you're seeing here, mostly where they had their events and whatnot, their enlistments and church services and stuff like that. All the sailors' names and whatnot on the wall, the past.
The quality is fantastic. Did you do this with your phone?
Yep, this is my iPhone XS, and I could care less right now about the new iPhones and their video quality. Mine's just as good.
Do you have like zoom selection? You could wide angle it or zoom it in, or not really?
Yeah, I could. My iPhone has a wide angle lens and then a telephoto as well.
The quality is fantastic.
It is.
Yeah, and it there's optical image stabilization built in, so again, I know it might be a little shaky, but it's usually the optical image stabilization really helps out. I know older if
Have you
somebody
been-
was using older iPhones right now, their video would be a lot more crazy. This is the Mark 38. There was a second battery to help the main battery.
Back on the main deck.
Now we're climbing to the first deck. And these right here, another one of the 40 millimeters. I kind of didn't know which way to go, so I always started with the back of the ship, the rear of the ship, and then moved forward.
Go forward.
Is
But
the
again,
back the port or the bow? I forgot.
The back, the rear, the back is always the back is always aft. Left is port. They just turn when they say go to port
Yeah,
quarter.
just start from the back,
That's
work our way
the
forward.
angle. That's the as you curve from the
We're coming up
from the
on
stern
the lifeboat.
to the port side. That's the port quarter.
And
We just passed the, as you just saw, you just passed the lifeboat. This is just documentation I went over. There'll be some cool ones coming up when we get to it. And again, this is all done with the iPhone app called iMovie, and where you can just throw a whole bunch of audio, video, photos all in and make like creative, movie videos, whatever you want.
Tier 3, the captain.
How could you archive this? Like, it's fantastic. How do you archive it? Just download it like a file?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll send it to you once we're done. Of course.
Tier 3 combat room.
And Henry, I got there. You'll be amazed at something that I told you in Zoom calls before that you'll see once we get up to it.
Make our way back out.
But here we are, and we're just about there,
And we have
climbing into everybody's favorite destination on a Navy vessel, the bridge. So here we are.
Wow.
This is that golden piece. That was that other form of communication I told you about that they also use. It's
again.
this is the chart room.
Called the chart house. Again, that's another.
Chart means like they go over maps, right?
Exactly. So the bridge
Were they
is also-
playing taps or did you add that?
No, it's actually sound effect they have playing inside the bridge. They playing tap. They played that other Marine Corps charge and stuff like that. You all know what this is. I know Ian. Henry. You got to know what this is. This is
That's
what
for the
tells,
speed, right?
Exactly. It tells full speed ahead, half speed, this and that.
I saw they were on Titanic. I was reading about
Yeah.
Titanic. Like it.
Hey, Ian, this is a great thing, right?
Also,
It's fantastic. It exceeds everything.
communication with yellow.
Oh wow, listen to that.
So Henry, here's your shot of what I was talking about.
Radio
Look at all these communications.
Wow.
So these are the main gunneries here. It's all helped with anti-aircraft fire as well.
Gunnery is actually what they call them.
What does gunnery mean?
A gunnery is it's basically just anti-aircraft. They just call them gunneries, but they're like batteries, and then they're like batteries and automatic weapons. Yeah, it was windy. It was windy when I went out, so I apologize for the wind noise.
Hey, Louis, this is nice, right, Lou?
Yeah, watch it.
Look at the superstructure. Northwest. Radio detection.
The radio detection, also the radio detection antennas and stuff like that.
Different units.
Um,
Another light.
Have they started giving tours again or not really?
No, not yet. They haven't got clearance from the governor yet.
Wow. So you were able to give us a sneak peek, right?
I mean, I'm welcome to go on anytime I want. I just can't give tours yet. Everyone would know what CIC means, right?
No.
Combat Information
CIP,
Center.
That's what it's abbreviated for.
Oh, here it is.
Combat. It's all in this room.
Go radio call. Combat to
It's
bridge.
closed right now.
Go ahead, combat.
Get in there.
Bridge to combat. Go ahead, bridge. What?
These are just small
What's our location?
portholes.
You know,
I'll
stuff
be
like
back.
that. Just
I could see Ian with his khaki pants and a tan shirt with the tan tie and the crush cap.
Oh,
there
yes,
you go.
you got it.
There you go. This is all the major. This is all some of the major operations. I even told my battleship crew guys, like I was careful enough to not like let anybody tag on with me, like
Admiral's office
just so like I'd get in trouble or whatnot. But
and the
this looks like this is the admiral's office here, and
I'm gonna climb back. So we're making our way to the front of the boat.
so yeah. Now we're
Again, some
40 millimeter again
40
right here.
here.
They had to crank shift. You had to turn like a wheel to fire.
Under construction right now.
Here's another battery that for the gunnery I'm going to take you through. Again, just so hard to climb in these things, so I didn't go all the way in.
Inside one of the gunneries of the main gun.
It's like a marvel of engineering, right?
Very tight.
There you go.
Very wide open. Alright, so we're back on the main deck. And we're making ourselves forward. Here are, again, the 16-inch guns. Again, the North Carolina had one of those.
When they
great-
and just
the
a side
highest
note, when the battleship was
percentage
first
of
built,
firepower,
well, this battleship North Carolina is actually the
for fellows
third
allies
of the
during
of the
war.
named
Not
battleship
so
North
much
Carolina. The
firepower
first
that
one
of 'em
was
had.
like a
Are you on fire? But apparently it was
an
just
old
too different
1800 sailing ship.
Oh, here we come.
The next one was
which is the bow, of course.
the World
We
War
got your
One ship that got
ship
destroyed.
terms,
This is
the torpedoes here.
this battleship North Carolina would have been the fourth, but the third one that they were going to build, they scrapped her as they got going with her,
and we have some
due
20
to
millimeter
mechanical
as well.
improvement.
All
So
along
she's
front
the
of bow
third
for
battleship
anti-aircraft fire.
that was battleship
Look
North
here,
Carolina,
look at these anchor chains,
and
look at that
her the letterings on battleships are BB, so like Betty
more
Boop.
thick than you could think of. Thicker than you
Just
could
imagine the
think of.
size of these
How
anchor
much
chains
they
and how much
hold.
they weigh. All the the guns that you saw, those are all 20 millimeters off of the bow, all anti-aircraft fire.
Do you have an idea when's the last time they shot? Do they talk about that?
Here we are on the bow. Here
Oh,
comes the anchor.
last time. You mean the last time the battleship was used?
Walk around.
Yeah.
Better look at it.
Oh, right toward the end of World War II in 45.
Wow.
She
Didn't we see all this just now?
the bow.
And then
Is this a
finally,
repeat?
I'll give you a look at the ship from.
Well, I haven't gotten to the bow yet. We're just finishing up the bow now, and then
we'll
I'm
make our way back
it's
to
almost over. I'm making my way
the
toward
middeck where
the entry
we
again.
got on the ship.
But I tried to go left, but I just all these details I had to show. So
You keep these caps on the barrel so that it doesn't get like.
now, as you
water or
see,
dust
those
and they
caps
rust.
that are on top of the 16-inch there, they keep those so it don't the cylinders don't rust and you don't
Is
get
there a
rain
deal
inside
to
them.
lower the anchors and so forth. All the piping.
And there's 2 engine, 4 boilers, 2 boilers per engine. Here's coming up where I wanted to show you kind of crazy. She was actually
If you look at
hit
this
by a
one up top here,
torpedo
this is
in
where
the
she
Battle
was
of
hit by a
Guadalcanal.
torpedo, actually.
And as you look at the
Actually,
grid
was
right there,
doing four-
it was the Japanese torpedo was supposed to hit the USS Wasp, which
USS
is right there
Wasp,
in their
actually, was the
range.
one that it hit,
But the Wasp was already
where they were
turned and
supposed to hit,
maneuvered,
which is
so
the
it kept
number
going
2 right
straight.
there.
It missed the
And
Lexington
it actually failed
or
all the way through.
the Lansom there, and
He
then it hit the
North
battle.
Carolina
It hit the North
on the,
Carolina. But the thing about battleships
on
that,
the
and
the-
all military
the
vessels, they're
starboard
built
bow there was-
to where they can take damage like that. That's what's known as flood compartments, man. Like when a vessel gets hit, it can flood your compartment to keep balance, to keep floating.
Wow.
one of the main radars.
I know. A lot of the times I'm in my, your World War II course, and the instructor always says he's like a big of stealing stuff, but he always puts it out that he's not stealing stuff, to make money off of it. He doesn't like charge people to do stuff, but
I will continue along.
he just does it to for educational
Memorial Walk
purposes.
here. They usually have the flags
And what
flying
this
for all the
usually right
different,
here they have all the
the
flags
branches
of the
of
different
military.
branches of the
They have
Marine
one
Corps.
taken down
I mean
today.
of the military. They had them taken down for some reason. That's the hole there. That's what they're working on right now. Just they have to pretty much repaint everything, and I went on
Let
a
me get
tour
on the
one
other
time
side
and,
and I'll-
and actually got
I'll take
closer
it
to
from
that,
there.
but I mean
All right, so we're entering the stern from the stern.
so now
side
we're on the
of
stern side.
Memorial
So
Walk.
what the
We're
battleship
coming
is
to the
sitting
back of the
in
ship now.
can actually be flooded. It takes them about 48 hours to flood it, but when it comes to draining it, it could take about a
We'll
month,
open up
maybe
the,
2.
Kingfisher there. This is the crane that lifted.
it's another
the water.
look of there's another 40 millimeters off the back in the Kingfisher.
She did have 240.
Again, they were
40
Kingfishers
millimeters on
were
the back
mostly
for anti-aircraft as well.
designed for
At
for
one time,
rescues
she
of
did
downed
have-
sailors, and then
in
of
the
course
very
being
beginning, she had 3
scout planes.
Kingfishers
They didn't call them
mounted on
spy
the back
planes; they called them scout
of
planes
the
actually.
battleship. The
Um,
first one, I believe.
but they
due to
built-
weight, they had to take.
It was
one of
that
them
way
off, so
after
they
I
had 2,
way
but
after I left
they
and moved
only
back
have
to New
the
York.
one on
They
there right now.
they built this whole memorial
Probably
walk where you can walk
Due
around.
to it
You don't have to
was
pay anything at all. You could just walk
But again,
around the whole back end
Here's
of
what
the
I really wanted to show you. Just all the back of it.
a walk
whole
around the
thing,
whole
he's painting
battleship is
all
just, just to get outer look.
all along the way.
Um,
So as I said, they honor Battleship North Carolina honors all branches of the military, including the Coast Guard.
Have you met
which
any
is
active
actually
people who went
part
to
of the
go?
Navy,
Have you met
Uh,
any active military who went to look at the boat or not yet?
not
Here we come again.
yes. Most of
there.
the instructor
This is the
guys,
Air
especially the
Force,
one that does our
their
Zoom
mountain
calls,
in Norway.
but the World War II course, he's the retired rear admiral, and he was on the
Oh, here we come on our next.
he was on the
gun,
Kennedy
which is
actually.
Memorial for the Navy.
He was on the USS Kennedy. We just about a month back he did a one-on-one interview where he went to Phoenix,
So here we come
Arizona,
to the Army.
and it was
Just
he
wanted to
did
hop
a
little bit.
interview that he broadcasted through Zoom with
40
the last
40
living
millimeters on the back,
black
anti-aircraft
sailor
as
that was
well.
on the battleship North Carolina,
Wow.
At one time, she did have.
which is
at
cool
the very beginning,
cool
she had
experience.
3 Kingfishers mounted on the back of the battleship.
And I'm going back to the
First
battleship
one, I
on
believe.
Monday
But
for
due to weight, they had to take
a tour on
one of
fire
them off.
control.
So they had 2, but they only have the one on there right now. Probably due to it was damaged. But again, here's what I really want to show you. All the back of it. The whole
okay.
thing.
Anyway, I'll just let it play.
That's
It
the
went through-
ground that's dried, right?
All along the
That's
way.
all mud right there. They flood that up when she's ready to, when they're finished all the
way around.
repairs, that thing will be flooded up again. It's going through it. It's showing this back end again.
He's looking at if we.
That's a beautiful ship, right, John?
Anyhow,
I don't see them.
Ian, that's some ship, right?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Again, I'll come closer.
Reminds me of when my dad used to take us to the Navy Yard, because he used to work there.
All the
You can
different.
see it and everything.
That was down in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, the Williamsburg area.
now to bring that point up, this ship was built in Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Yeah, you
Wow.
believe it. Built in Brooklyn.
She got the nickname the Showboat during the war in the Battle of the Atlantic. Why? Because after she was taking multiple
So, as I said,
hits and whatnot from
they honor
enemy
Battleship
fight,
North Carolina
enemy air-
honors all
you know,
branches of the military,
rounds.
including the Coast Guard,
She was traveling back and forth to Brooklyn Shipyard
which is actually part of
and
the Navy.
the battle in the Atlantic, and so she got the term the Showboat because she turned out to be like a boat show
Oh,
for the people of New York watching the ship sail in and out of the East River there.
So I guess that was a busy place to fix up ships, right?
Back during the Battle of the Atlantic, yep. I'm sure.
It's too late in the season for them anyhow.
I forgot the name of it, but in Norfolk was a big one too. That's the biggest.
Norfolk, yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest. It's the biggest Navy yard right as
Here
of
we come
today.
Again,
It's Norfolk.
look, there. This is the Air Force. They're mountain in memory. If you think about it, there's really only 3 branches of the military, actually. It's really the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army. Because the Marines and the Coast Guard, they both do, the Marines are technically a branch of, a private branch of the military, but they also deal with water too. So there was Marines aboard battleships too. So
And she was one of the.
So he would come on
I'll
our
give a
next
hint.
planet, which is
Stats
M-
about the ship as
Memorial
well.
for
It was
the
one of the
Navy.
fastest built at the time. She could do around 27 to 29 knots. She was one of the heaviest firepower as well. When she was in the Battle of
Yeah, it was-
Guadalcanal, one of her allies came on the radio and said, "North Carolina, are you on fire?" She was not on fire, but she
We're
had
gonna move
her
along.
firepower was so high that it looked like the boat was on fire. And that's what they repaired so far of the bow there.
It's the work they've done so far.
Taking their time, been a lot of negotiation
good.
between
Yeah, it was a
contractors
good
and this
tour,
and that.
guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Have some fun on November the 11th.
But that's pretty much the end of it.
Wonderful job, Matt.
So
I want to show
hang on
you
one
guys
second,
something.
hang on 1 second, I'll come right back.
This is a copy of the Instrument of Surrender for World War II
There we go.
against,
I'm back.
against Japan.
Oh, they made a copy?
Cool.
Yeah. This is one of those parchment copies.
Right. September 2nd.
All right.
Yeah, and it has, I'm trying to see, let's show you the signatures. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah.
I could-
Wow.
Good time.
I'm always buying like papers like this.
Wow. When we were kids, we used to get the Declaration of Independence on parchment.
Yeah, I remember that, Ian.
Chester Nimitz.
I remember in the 8th grade. I remember in the 8th grade, my history class, my teacher made us memorize that.
Wow. We hold these.
So, yeah, go ahead, Ian.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Yeah.
That they are endowed by the Creator with such inalienable rights. Yep.
And then once you only had to go my teacher told us you only had to go till all men are created equal, but you got extra credit if you went all the way through.
The preamble.
I didn't. So my next part was going to be, anyone had questions on the videos or whatnot, but we kind of answered them because we walked through it and whatnot at the video because of the audio. So now I bring to my next fun part of the whole thing, which is this is going to be our trivia part.
One thing that I forgot to mention.
Sure.
Henry asked me about some of the Yankees. I forgot all about Hank Bauer. Was the U.S. Marine Corps in Guadalcanal. In his platoon, there were 68 and 59 didn't make it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There used to be a line when Hank Bauer showed up at Guadalcanal, the Japanese gave up.
I remember meeting
That's
one of the executives at the Yankees, the tall, slender lady that her father,
Debbie.
he was in Okinawa.
Right. Debbie. Right, Debbie?
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
her name. I've known her all these years. But
Yeah.
oh, one more thing. Here I go again.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Then we'll get our
World
questionnaire.
War I and World War II, there was a very famous French general taken prisoner in World War II. He escaped. His first name was Henri, and his last name of this famous French general was Girard.
Girard.
Same name as Sam. And you
Very
Google it,
cool.
it comes out. Henri Girard.
Wow.
Very cool. All right, let's move forward with the trivia.
Okay.
All right. First question: how many servicemen were killed at Pearl Harbor?
I think 3,000. 3,000?
2,200, something like that.
3,000?
Not more than 3,000, I think.
The answer is 2403. 2,403.
Good.
That's total. Civilians were 68, that's civilians. So I'm sorry. 2403. That was the number of sailors that died.
Oh,
Civilians was 68, which brings the total to 2471.
Hmm.
Wow.
Next question. Other than global expansion, what enforced the Japanese to attack at Pearl Harbor?
say again?
What other than global expansion, what enforced the Japanese to attack at Pearl Harbor?
I think resources, natural resources they needed.
You nailed it, Ian. It's resources, so that includes materials, supplies, and oil, of course. The Japanese relied on U.S. oil for so long, and then eventually the U.S. cut them off, and then the Japs were enforced to use oil from India, and so the India oil wasn't as efficient, so they turned on military action there. This next one is a myth, but you might have heard it before. What did Admiral Yamamoto say after the conclusion of the attack on Pearl Harbor?
Words to the effect that we won the battle, but we lost the war.
Yeah, he said 2 years.
Yeah, I think we lost the war.
He said 2 years. We're going to last for 2 years, and that's
He
it.
said, I shall return. No, that's MacArthur.
But I
That's
think,
MacArthur from the Philippines, Joan.
yeah, I
No,
think it was,
the-
words to- we won the battle, but we lost the war, or
no.
No, yeah,
no,
he told
to lead to the end. Okay,
them
Let me-
that they'll last
yeah.
about 2 years.
No, you're right about that, Lewis, because the war went on for another 3 years. The answer is, and again, like I said, it's a myth. Nobody knows it was proven that he actually said it. I believe we awakened a sleeping giant.
that's right. That's
Oh yeah. That's
that's the
for real.
one.
Yeah, that's for real. The same thing.
Yeah. So Ian lost I'm sorry, Henry said he lost connection.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know. If you could try to get on again. Just have to try to connect again.
okay.
So we'll continue. So I'm sure Ian, you knew this one. Lewis, you might know this one too. What was the main turning point of the Battle of Midway?
The main turning point.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they broke the code.
Well, you're right. You're on the right track, Lewis. What it was, first off, the turning point. Midway was the turning point of World War II, of course.
Summer of 42, right?
Yeah. Yes, in the summer of 42. What happened was
The Japanese lost about I think 3 carriers or 4.
they here's the thing. They actually only destroyed one. They thought they were on equal terms with the Americans after they sank the Yorktown, which they thought that the Yorktown was the one that they didn't realize they destroyed twice. Like they hit it with bombs the first time, but what happened was the crews from the Battle of the Coral Sea, which the Yorktown was also in, the crew learned from it on fire control on how to maintain the ship, and so they learned their lesson, and they were able to save the Yorktown for a while until Japs came back and bombed, and finally the Yorktown just gave out. But what was the main mistake of Midway was after the bombing on Midway the first time, the Japs did not really exceed their objective because they wanted to mainly bomb all the airstrips, which was unsuccessful, and of course their bombers, which were off the island too. Most planes have already taken off on Midway Island before the Japs got there, which was another learning curve that they took early from Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
So what was the main mistake, and obviously was a gamble for the Admiral Nagumo, which was the admiral on the task force for Midway. He decided his planes returned from Midway, and they were asking for a second strike at Midway. So it wouldn't be operational. Fortunately, that was a big mistake, which he agreed to rearm his planes that he already had anti-aircraft bombs on. To bomb the ship, he had bombs on his reserve planes already. So he agreed to take those bombs off and load them with bombs. He had anti-aircraft fire bombs on the reserve plane. So he immediately went to go to work as far as replacing them with bombs for Midway. But what he didn't realize was the United States Navy was already on top of him.
Yeah. They caught him.
Yeah, they were already on top of him. And here's what's funny. Go back to that. The U.S. Navy was about 250 miles northeast of Midway. Okay. Yamamoto and his strike team, they were about. Henry getting back in. His crew was about, I think 400 miles from it, but there was no way for, the United States Navy to come back to make it to his ship and then back safely. So, one of the greatest gambles at that time, the admiral on the U.S. ship ordered their ship to move closer, which gave him better range. And by the time the Midway bombing force returned, those planes were already off toward those ships. And so he was like a sitting duck in other words. Henry, back?
Yeah,
There you go.
I got disconnected for some reason.
Yeah, not a problem. Anyhow, we're just going over Midway right now.
Oh, wow.
As far as the question I came up with, what was the main mistake of the Battle of Midway that cost Japan the war mainly, and I just put over that the Japs took time by rearming their planes with bombs for the second strike against Midway, instead of leaving their anti-ship weapon on their plane to strike at the carriers, and at the same time as they're reloading, enemy U.S. planes are already off toward Nagumo's ships and whatnot, and so they were caught at a sitting dusk.
Wow.
Anyhow, we went over the. Where did the Japanese officially sign the peace treaty?
On the USS Missouri.
Okay, that's
September
for
2nd.
extra credit. Date and year.
September 2nd, 45.
Nailed it, Ian.
Oh, thanks.
And that was that treaty I had that I showed you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And had Chester Nimitz signature.
Yeah.
Admiral Nimitz.
Imagine
what-
that's like a perfect copy of a real surrender paper.
It really is. It was amazing.
What decides the type of caliber of weapon for a gun? Would anyone know that one?
Doesn't it depend on the use?
Close.
Oh, you,
I'll give you
you the M1?
no. I'll give you the answer is what decides what size caliber ammunition goes in a weapon is the size of the diameter of the cylinder of the barrel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that,
Oh, right.
That gives
So
it a
like-
caliber size.
Exactly. That the 16-inch guns on the battleship are
Are you-
45 caliber diameter on the barrel.
oh.
That's what determines. You guys should know this one. Who started the movie Pearl Harbor?
Burn Lancaster. Oh, no. Oh, you
Huh.
mean Pearl Harbor.
Ben Affleck?
That's one.
It's like, oh,
Give us a hit.
I saw it.
They give up.
His girlfriend was that British lady that spoke in American.
I'm just meaning the two main actors.
Oh, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
All right, I'll if everyone froze.
Say it again, Ryan
Ryan Gosling. Could you?
I think
Are you guys hearing?
I'm here. Yeah. I
Okay,
think Matt's frozen.
Matt, you're frozen.
Remember in the movie Pearl Harbor, they were both fighting over the same woman.
Yeah,
No.
and that's Ben Affleck's wife in real life at that time.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, she does the commercials on TV.
wow. The nurse.
Gardner.
Jennifer
played the nurse.
Gardner.
Oh, yeah. It's boss now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Ryan Gosling.
Uh-huh. Who was it?
Josh Hartnett.
Joshua?
Hartnett.
I think it's Josh Arnett. I was told the name of the other actor.
Oh, right. Josh, yeah.
Hartnett.
Oh, Hartnett. Josh Hartnett. Yeah. That's right. I missed that one.
That was a great movie, great filming.
Really was.
I gotta go, guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, nice meeting
Oh,
you.
okay. Everyone's back. Yeah,
Bye,
for some reason it ended it. So
Ian. Mwah.
Okay. Thanks,
So,
Doc. Great seeing you.
yeah, we'll just end it from there. I'm
Everyone.
sorry I didn't get to show the last few minutes of it.
Be safe.
You guys too.
You too.
The last thing I was just gonna show. Actually, you know what, Ian, Henry, you want to
Bye,
hang by
Matt.
this one?
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good one, Joe.
Okay, Joe.
All right, I'll share this. We'll just end it from here after this one. Hang on
Okay.
1 second. It's okay. Still recording. This will be the end of it, and then we could have a last minute discussion after it. Hang on 1 second. All right. It's whoops. Share content screen. Start. Oh, okay. All right, here. Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
You're gonna show that
And-
special thing?
Last one of all.
All right.
Give it a
Yeah,
minute.
Matt and I talked about that one too.
This is gonna be. This is Ian's request. Just give it a minute to go through the.
I think we had a great time today, right?
Fantastic.
Sure did.
Thank everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate. And please welcome one of America's
Again, this was
Premier
Ian's request.
entertainers,
Ian sent it to me.
Grammy Award winner
I was
Lee
standing there that day.
Greenwood.
I missed it by one night. I was there the night before, in fact.
Ian,
Hey, Emilio.
could you put it louder?
Unfortunately, I can't.
Okay.
So it might be. Of course, it's a free video on YouTube if you always wanted to go see it.
To be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Oh, he went over an hour. That's why it ended. That's why it ended it, and it had to reconnect.
From the lakes of Minnesota
Look at this.
to the hills.
Look how young that guy is.
He has a amazing wow.
Across the
He's a
plains
grandpa now.
from
grandpa.
sea to shining sea, from
That's
Detroit
elderly.
down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I
You know, from that shot, I wonder if they even have actually cut the American flag like that, just to show. But
What happened was that the night before we were there, 7th Express, they honored that flag. That flag was actually.
Ian, can you talk into the mic? I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Now I
Yeah.
could.
Okay, that flag, at the 7th Express, the day 3, they unfurled it. That was recovered from the 9/11, from the attack on 9/11.
You said that was recovered. You sound muffled. That's why.
Yeah, it was recovered on 9/11.
Wow.
oh yeah, I know what flag it is now.
Yeah. They unveiled it in day 3, in 7th Express. And we saw President Bush that night. It was fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. And Bob Stepper goes, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. And we just went wild that night. It's just like, thanks, Matt. That was great.
Nice, man.
All right, let's hang on 1 second. Let's get back to my screen. All right. So, just the closing. Glad you guys enjoy everything. Lewis, again, anytime you want to join, just let Ian know. I mean, Henry know. He can let me know, and then I'll send you guys the link as well. But again, thanks for joining me tonight. Again, like I apologize for all the mismatch and reschedulings and this and that. But
No, but Matt, you did a phenomenal job, man.
Incredible.
yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed yourself.
Sure did.
I just felt if it's just something special, to put aside the baseball talking a little bit for
Oh, yes.
one
yes.
time, and so but all right, we're gonna end it from here. And hope you guys enjoy yourself, stay safe, and we'll keep in touch.
We'll always keep in touch. Thanks for everything.
Yeah.
Thanks
Love
for
you.
everything, Matt.
Great seeing everyone.
All right, guys, have a good one.
See
You
you,
too.
see you,
End it from
Louis.
here.
Thanks
Take
a
care.
lot.
Nice meeting
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye.
See you, Ian.
I'll see you soon, guys.
I'm gonna end it. Bye.